What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Food Daze. Today we're going to be cooking eggs, the incredible edible egg. It's such a versatile ingredient. It has so many different uses. We use it for breakfast, we use it in pasta, we use it in breads, we even use it in some dishes as thickeners. I mean, this thing has 101 plus uses and ways to do it. So today I'm going to give you a little bit of a journey to go on with me, and we're going to make 11 different ways to eat and cook eggs. Well, I'm not going to show you guys how I eat them because it's just, that'd be incredibly too long of a video, but I'm going to show you 11 quick ways to make eggs at home that everyone can do, and so easy. And we're going to start with one of my favorites, which is eggs in a basket, which I think is one of the most incredible ways to eat eggs for breakfast or even as a snack or dinner or however you like. But with just these few ingredients, you can do anything at home with eggs. So let's hop to it. All right, first thing you're gonna need some sort of cutting board and white ass bread and something to cut a circle with. Now, sometimes you have biscuit cutters that you can use or any other thing, but you can use just a glass or something that you can make an indentation like that with. Flip it over, do it again, just a little bit of pressure, not a lot. Just enough to get it to come out, and if it doesn't come out, then you just push it out with your fingers or take a knife and cut it. But that's what we're looking for, is a circle, a hole like that, and we're gonna save this and cook it with it. So let's get started with eggs in a basket. So I've already started to preheat this pan. You want it at about a medium, just past medium. You don't want it too high. And you're going to want to chuck in some butter. Butter is key to this recipe. You don't want anything to stick to it, so you want every single aspect of this covering the pan and making sure we don't have any dry spots. Not to mention the butter is going to get soaked up by the bread, which just gives it an amazing flavor. So just do this, make sure everything's coated, and I'm not going to use that much, so we'll take some out. Going to go ahead and place our bread there. Place our extra one. You're going to take your egg, crack it, and pop it right in there. At this point, you want to give it a little bit of pepper. Obviously my pan wasn't hot enough. And a little bit of salt. And that's about all you need. Gonna probably speed through this so you guys don't have to watch the process, but you'll get to see it cook in real time. Nice little cheat method for this. If you check the bottom of this and you can see how toasty it starts to get, you can see what the bread's doing on this side. So you kind of know where you're at, so you can know exactly when to flip it. And another thing, if you can move this, then you know it's hot enough on the bottom. If it doesn't move and it wants to stick, that means it's still not done cooking. But I think it's been down long enough, so we're going to go ahead and just flip this guy. Perfect. And then you come up around here and gently just give it a toss. Boom. Nailed it. Now give it just a little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. Now to get all this excess, so see, it's not moving, it's not wanting to move, so that means it's not done. Don't force it, let it take its time. Check this. Yep, that bottom part's done. And then we'll go ahead and give this flip. Boom. And there you have it. Eggs in a basket. Super easy. The yolk is nice and runny. go ahead and take this, pop that inside, and look at that. That's a great dish just to have. I mean, easy. You saw it took no more than 2-3 minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and eat this, and then we'll get to the next recipe. Next, we're going to do boiled eggs. Probably going to take you the longest to cook out of all these, just because you have to wait for the water to boil. I probably leave something like right around here on how long the temperatures are, or how long to cook boiled eggs at, because it's like 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and that'll give you different variations of a boiled egg. But we're just going for the traditional hard-boiled egg. It takes about 8 minutes, and it's perfect hard-boiled that you can use for potato and pasta salads, that you can make egg salad sandwiches with, or whatever. But we're going to speed through this, and yeah, just wait until the water boils. So I slowed down the video to show you guys about this tool. Now, what's really crazy about this tool is a lot of people like to use it for pasta, but what they don't realize what it's good for is an egg. It's perfect for dropping an egg into boiled water to make hard-boiled eggs without breaking them. And when the water is boiling, you stick it in here, and it's just that simple. So let's go ahead and test that as the water starts to boil. You drop it in, and you just turn it, and there you go. That simple. And if you want to take it out, look at that. So if you didn't know, that's the other use for this tool. It's not just for, I don't understand how people just use it for pasta, but it's also designed to grab and pull out hard-boiled eggs. And we're going to give this 8 minutes. Don't worry, I'm timering it, but I'm not going to torture you guys with time waiting for this to get done. So, plus, I'm not going to show you me cracking the egg. You should already know. Boiling an egg, cracking an egg, easy as that. You should know how to do that. So that's recipe number 2. Let's move on to recipe number 3. Next, using boiling water again, we're going to do a poached egg. Now, I don't know much about poached eggs. I don't really cook them. I do know it takes vinegar in the water, and there is a technique to it. You don't want it at a roaring boil. You want it at a light simmer. And the technique to it is you get the water just to where it's hot and steaming, and you turn it like that. So you have the water sort of swirling around, and then you drop the egg in it. And right when it just gets done, you pull it out, let it drain for a second, and then put it on like toast with a hollandaise sauce, stuff like that. I don't particularly like poached eggs, but I can show you how to do them because I have done them. I do not know the scientific fact behind putting vinegar in that. My buddy Chef Dave, he could tell you that. Hopefully you guys will see him in later videos. But yeah, Chef Dave, Chef Harrison, shout out to you guys. They could tell you exactly what the vinegar does to it. I think it does something to where it keeps the egg solidified together. But I don't know the scientific terms. Again, not a chef, just a cook. So, but once the water gets to a decent temperature, and we're going to use our trusty thermometer. About 156, so we're going to go ahead and do it. Maybe a little bit more. You want it around 165, so 160. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get this water spinning. Again, you don't want it at a roaring boil. And I'm pretty sure you're supposed to have more of a deep pan, but I do not know the method. I don't know it. I know you just want to keep everything moving. And there is a technique to this. I have never really done this. I don't know the technique. Don't ask me. I just know what you're supposed to do. And you know what? I'm probably going to fail at this the first time, but that's okay. Hey, we learn. And I'm sure it'll take a couple of goes, but yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I'm just showing you or telling you the method. Yeah, see, this egg completely sunk. I mean, it sunk all the way to the bottom. But if anybody else knows how to do this, please, by all means. I think that's catastrophic failure. It's supposed to be good. Maybe the water wasn't hot enough. I don't know. You guys have fun with it, but that's the fail version of a poached egg. Yeah, I'm moving on. All right. Now, after that catastrophic failure, move on to what I like, which is the easiest scrambled egg on the planet. So you just want a little bit of butter in your pan. And go ahead and crack an egg. It's almost like a fried egg, the way I like to scramble my eggs, but do a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And the way I like to do it is you just do it in the pan. Because you get some of the yolk cooked in its own flavor. You get the white cooked, its own flavor. And it's not your traditional scrambled egg. This is just how I personally like to eat my scrambled eggs. You can do it however you want, but trust me, you're probably going to see the other way. I mean, it makes a bit of a mess in the pan, but it's super fast, super easy. I mean, you can't beat it. You get everything separated on its own. And go ahead and throw this right on some toast. And the unscrambled scrambled egg. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Not too hard to do. Anybody can do it. It's easy. Just a little bit of butter, salt, pepper, boom, scrambled egg. Next, now for the more traditional scrambled egg. Put one egg in there. Take a little bit of milk. I'm just gonna pour just a dab in there. Then take a fork, go ahead and scramble it. Make sure everything is integrated. Now, the little thing is, when it comes to pooling eggs, no restaurant is supposed to do that. What they're supposed to do is put an egg in one of these, a bowl, examine it, make sure that there's no shell in it, and then they can put it into a bowl. Pooling an egg is multiple eggs inside of a bowl, which they're not supposed to do that because, believe it or not, eggshells are the dirtiest thing in a restaurant. Why? Because when eggs get shipped, they get shipped with the chickens. So the eggs are on the bottom, the chickens are on top. And what do chickens do? They poop. So that means the eggs are covered in feces. And that's why they're not supposed to pool eggs. So if you see a restaurant doing that, yeah, you can call them out on it. So again, a little bit of butter, boom. Just make sure the pan doesn't have any sticky stuff, and boop. And you just mix it around. And that pan is probably too hot because that's cooking way too fast. Yeah, that pan is way too hot. That's my fault. But this is your standard scrambled egg. It's what everybody's used to. It's what everybody does around the world. A little bit of egg, a little bit of milk, scrambled, boom. And it takes all of 30 seconds. So there you go. There's scrambled eggs. The easiest, most traditional thing. This is scrambled eggs with milk. Moving on to the next recipe. Okay, next we're moving on and doing the classic French omelette. Now, the problem is with the French omelette, I don't have any parsley. And it's supposed to have parsley in it and a small non-stick pan. Oh, I didn't get any egg in there, did I? Or shell? No. Okay, so first you're going to want to beat together 3 eggs, and this is where you would typically add parsley into it. And you're going to make a custard out of this. You add your salt, and you add your pepper now. So when you're making a French omelet, you're kind of making a custard out of this in the middle. And make sure your eggs, and it typically takes 3 eggs per omelet to make. So, there you go. Leave that to the side. And let's heat up our pan. Now when making a French omelet, you don't want the pan super hot because you don't want the omelet to brown at all. Again, we're going back to our trusty old friend butter, and I have toast on my butter. Okay. You want a good amount of butter on this one. So what we're trying to do is get the butter to start sizzling. And I recommend making sure you use a lot of butter everywhere. I'm actually using the wrong spatula. You want the high temperature spatula, like the rubber one that kind of like that and has the U on it. That's typically a little better to work with, but I'm washing mine because of the other egg videos I've been doing. Now this one's going to be really fast to do. So now we've got our pan nice and hot. You can see the butter starting to bubble. So we know it's hot enough. Now this is a quick process. You're going to put the eggs in. Make sure they're all in there. And you're going to start moving the pan because you want to create a custard. You're going to keep moving everything around. Kind of like scrambling it in the pan. And every little bit that gets all moved together, you want to bring it back down into this custard that you're creating. And the reason that they're moving everything around is because you're making parts of it cook. Keep going. Keep going. Bring everything down into it. Making sure nothing sticks together. Moving it all, moving. Bring everything back down into it. There's going to be a spot where this starts to form up on itself, and that's when we know it's time to start folding it in on itself. And we're just about there. Now that it's starting to harden, I'm going to bring everything down. I'm going to tilt the pan. Almost ready. And we're going to fold it. So at this point you want everything here. You want it to slowly cook so it's cooking, and then you're going to want to bring the pan over. Almost. It's almost ready. I think I folded a little too much. It's supposed to be more in I haven't perfected the French omelet yet, but that's typically what you want to do. And you just want to bring it over, and not bad, but not perfect either, because it's supposed to be a little runny in the middle, or custardy. And you just take a little bit of butter, just kind of, and that's a typical French omelet. Yeah, it's still a little raw, but close enough. I actually put it back in the pan, cooked it a little more, but that's typically what you want it to look like inside of a French omelet. So if you have an idea, it's like a little custardy. It's not bad. Next we're going to do a fried egg in oil. I particularly do not care for this method. It is a method that some people use. I don't see the point in it. I think it's greasy, but you'll see it done in Asian cooking with woks, and it is good, but I, like I said, particularly do not care for this method. I'm not partial to having a crispy edge on my fried egg, so this is a fried egg in oil, and yeah, let's wait until it gets hot. Always check your temperatures. No, maybe it wasn't hot enough. Yeah, it probably wasn't hot enough. Probably wanted to go a little bit more, but you want it to sizzle. But this is one method that I, like I said, particularly do not care for, but it does work. Now, if you're putting this on top of rice or any other thing, I would say right about now it's about done. But because I have to eat this, I'm probably going to cook it a little bit longer. But you get this nice crispy edge here. This is still kind of soft and runny on top. If this was in a wok, it'd probably be a lot better. But a lot of people like this crispy edge that's happening right here. And I don't understand it. But not to mention the bottom of this is probably very dark. So I'm going to just go ahead and take this out. So I flipped it over so you can see how this edge gets a little crispy. And that's actually a desired thing. And you can actually kind of go like this and put it on that side, cook the other side of it. And it only takes a second because it's oil. And yeah, now when you flip it back over, see, it's completely cooked. And you still get a runny yolk. But I particularly do not care for this. It's too greasy, it's too oily. That's why I'd rather use butter. But there you go. That's number 7, the fried egg in oil. Alright, well this next one's going to kind of be a 2-in-1 hit. So this will be 8 and 9, and then we got 2 more left. So this is the butter fried egg sunny side up that we're going to do. Want to butter the pan like we've been doing. So at this point, this is your typical fried egg. Now, very gently, you flip it over, now it becomes over easy. Now, I could leave it like this for a very long time, maybe another minute. And then what happens is the yolk will become hard, and then that's over hard. I personally like it a little runny, so. And put it back over. And that is over easy. Alright, we only got 2 more recipes to go, or 2 more ways to cook an egg, and we're done. Alright, next we're going to do scrambled eggs with cheese. This is basic bitch shit, pretty much. Simple, but it can get screwed up very easily. Add your knob of butter, 3 scrambled eggs, do your salt, pepper, now let it ride. Add our cheese. Put it all together. To be honest, the eggs are so hot, the cheese will melt on its own. You only need it just for a few seconds. You don't want to overcook the eggs. And we're done. Go ahead and plate this up. And there you have it, scrambled eggs with cheese. Now, just like the French omelet, we're going to start out with a knob of butter. And we're going to melt this down, maybe move the temperature up just a little bit. And we're going to start making the American cheese omelet. Now, unlike the French omelet, where it's very soft and buttery, sorry, but unfortunately the American omelet is very dry and dense. So I don't know why. I think it's just because we're scared of getting sick and, you know, all the different poultry diseases and salmonella and things, but we typically cook our eggs a lot more harder. So starting out damn near identical with the French omelet. Do the same thing. Oops, excuse me, sorry. And do the same thing, just kind of curdle, scramble it, let it get its place and peak up. And I maybe didn't have the pan hot enough, so I'm just going to raise the temperature little by little. Don't want to scorch this because it is easily burned. And lay a layer of cheese right there. At this point, slowly check your edges, and if you did it right, nothing should break. And remember, there's no rushing this. Just take your time, pull up the edges, turn the temperature down if you need to, and then catch it on one side and flip. Oh, a little too hard. But that's okay. So I'm not skilled in this at all. But hey, I want you guys to know, not everybody's perfect. Besides, trial and error. Alright, flip. Ugh. There you go. Go ahead and butter this side just a little. And the cheese is already cooking. And voila. The American cheese omelet. And there you go. When you cut it in, you have your cheese right in the middle. Oops. So, and there you go. Alright, bonus episode. So I made chili. I have some leftover. So I thought, why not make an omelet with the chili and cheese and play around. So we're going to do that. So technically it's 11 recipes plus one. Now, so you guys know, I film all these egg recipes over a matter of time because it absolutely sucks to eat that much eggs in one sitting. Same as before: butter, salt, pepper, scrambled eggs. So this one we're going to do a tri-fold. If I can get it to fold, and bring everything to one side. And that fold is coming out, ain't it? Yep. Told you kids, not a breakfast guy. Matter of fact, I don't even really eat breakfast. But hey, we'll make a mess and have fun doing it. There's another way you can do an omelet also, where you bake it right when you're at this stage. But hey, I don't know. I don't mess around with that kind of stuff. Now that we're right here, we should be pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and move the camera. Slides right off. Okay, let's make this a little bit picture perfect. Now we're going to add our chili. Oh yeah. We're going to go nuts, okay kids? Work with me on this one. We're doing honey twist Fritos for a little bit of crunch. And one dab of sour cream. And there you have it. The chili cheese omelet. Let's taste this. Well, let's find out how we did. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Wow. I never would have thought to do that with leftover chili. That's pretty good. But look, I'm not perfect at breakfast. I'm not perfect with eggs. It was just something I wanted to try for content. Still learning. The channel's not that big. We're still growing. Soon we'll have a new logo up, hats, t-shirts, stuff like that. That'll probably be around the first of the year. But just like everything, get out there and cook, learn recipes, learn from other YouTubers, try different things, and experiment and enjoy your time. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, ring that bell for